Hello, it's Dirty Trucking, Dirty Trucking. I've been sitting here, I've just been online all day. And everything is crooked. You can't believe nothing online. These job searches, let me tell you what my job searches has turned into. A fucking game. They putting specific jobs on there that is related to something that happened to me. And what these jobs are doing, especially I'm on Indeed.com all the time. These jobs are posting jobs that they think I will put in for. And then I put in for them, and they're using these jobs posts to get my information, my address, my phone number. That's all I see is happening. These aren't real jobs. These are fake job posts on these job boards. And they've been doing nothing but getting my information. I've been trying to find a way to see if I can get a car in another manner. I put in, guy had me email him my bank statements from January to March. And then 2 days later, after I emailed this guy, I get a mail demon message. I don't know if y'all know what that is. That's when your email didn't send, but it's saying something strange now. It's saying it didn't send, and we're gonna keep trying until we can't try no more. Something along the line that. We're gonna keep making several attempts. But this is 2 days after I emailed this guy, which is bullshit. If the email didn't go through, you get an immediate message the same day. It ain't no 2 days later. Same with another place. I tried to see if I can get a car. This guy wants me to email him my bank statements. I don't know who you are. I don't even know if you work at this place. I just called. But all of them asking for my bank statement. See, they're getting my information through applications that I put in. And I'm telling you, all this bullshit started right after I put in for that damn new apartment to get the fuck up out of here. Then they started playing that Chrysler game because that apartment was similar to a house. Because it had a garage. It was like a townhouse like. So that was the closest thing to like having a house when I had my house. And after I put in that application, I started noticing shit going on, shit that was being said that was along the lines of what happened to me at One Truck Plant, even on here on social media. Talking about I'm sitting around doing nothing. You know where that came from? That came from me posting a video about when I was sitting at home. And I told everybody that Chrysler's own benefits people, the sick and accident, when they had me on that code 31, found out I was sitting at home doing nothing. Because they asked me, what are you doing? I said, I'm sitting at home doing nothing. That's how I got back to work. Same shit they saying on here. This is exactly what happened to me when I was at One Truck. Somebody accused me of something. I get escorted out the plant. I lost my home. I owned that motherfucking house. I was a homeowner. I lost my house. A house my father made a way for me to get after he died. I lost my house. And here they go again. It's like they reenacting what happened to me after I put in somewhere or talk to somebody. They start reenacting what the fuck happened to me back then. And I don't even know what the fuck all this shit about. Why would you do this shit? You would sit up and put me in a position to I could end up losing my goddamn apartment. And for fucking what? You was going to do what? What? Did these people possibly think I was going to do when they took my income from me? You thought I was going to call somebody? I had somebody on here talking about a husband. A husband? What are you doing? Are you trying to traffic me through this shit? I'm not your trafficker. You don't traffic me. You not going to traffic me. You not going to take my income from me or keep doing shit to me because you want me to do something. Well, how did that work for you? What am I doing for you? Nothing. And I'm not going to do nothing for you. That's why I don't need to be working for these people. I need to be totally independent, doing my own thing with my own shit. I'm the fucking boss. I don't have to interact with nobody but me. See, the one thing I'm not going to do is sabotage my own income. But see, when you being independent, working for other people, that's how your income gets sabotaged. It ain't you did it. It don't necessarily be you did anything. It's who you working for. You know, jealousy is a strong emotion. And jealousy has led to me being without income every time. Somewhere, it was somebody that was jealous about something I was doing. They didn't like it. They didn't like me showing videos of my apartment, looking out the window, seeing the river, them boats. They didn't like me posting videos and me in that Toyota car. Got a commenter on here made a comment. It ain't your car. I was paying for it. It's mine until I get the fuck out of it. You need to pay attention to the comments that were on here. The shit they were saying. The people that involved with this are on the social media. I could tell by the shit they were saying. When the guy talking about, you poor. That motherfucker was talking about what was going on with my credit score. That's what Hertz Rental Car did. And they need to be held accountable for it. And matter of fact, I'm going to have to call somebody to hold them accountable for it. You don't get to do that shit. Hertz Rental Car is the cause of this. They want to sit up and talk about it was my fault. It ain't my goddamn fault. How is it my fault? How was anything that happened at Warren Truck Plant my fault? How was this shit my fault? That's what I'm trying to figure out. How is it my fault? And how do you keep thinking that I'm supposed to keep going through this every so many years and jump up and do what? I'm tired of it. It's only so many times you keep getting to do this shit. Well, I need to break free from the people that's doing this shit. These job searches have been bullshit. I'm sending my resume to motherfuckers who only want nothing but my information. They posted a job that had to do something with, what the job title was. I think it was a name of something that was dealing with something. I think when I was with Chrysler. Oh, that's what they were posting. They were posting work at home customer service rep for the auto industry. So if I'd have sent my resume, they'd have got my address. See, that was one thing Chrysler was doing. They would always seem to keep up with my address. They would always somehow keep up with my address. But you wouldn't send in no checks. But they like to know where I am. And I told you, that apartment I went and put in for, this shit happened right after I put in that goddamn apartment. This was somebody that was jealous, saw I was about to move, didn't want me to move, and caused all this shit. It's a little bit too much computer bullshit going on. This is somebody doing this shit. When they find out who the fuck you are, I hope they throw your ass under the goddamn jail. I hope you don't never get out. I hope you live the rest of your miserable ass life locked up for what the fuck you've done to me. People out there talking about I'm crazy. I got a criminal justice degree. I was taught by real officers. The fuck you talking about I'm crazy. And all of a sudden, the donation stopped. Now, after I made that video saying the donation stopped, I got one recently. But that was about over 20 hours ago. My donations stopped. They were coming in like clockwork. As soon as I announced I had that GoFundMe, I was getting donations just like that. They were just pouring in. All of a sudden, they stopped. And the only thing I noticed that happened before it stopped, that I got a sudden email from somebody that the email said, this is not from the GoFundMe fund. But somebody contacted me through the GoFundMe fund by email. And right after I got that email, my donations slacked off. They just stopped. I've only got one more since I made that last video saying that they stopped. I just recently got one. And I'm looking at all these other donations and on there for what they asking for and how much money they accumulated. Some lady asked for money to buy some land to plant a garden. She's doing extremely well. Here I am wanting help to save my apartment. Give me some kind of leeway until I figure out my way out of this. All of a sudden, the donations have stopped. Ain't no messages to my phone. No nothing. They stopped. And this is what they do. They get in this phone. I told you, it was one of them snake people on there talking this goddamn shit that looked into their GoFundMe, seen how much donations I had, and all of a sudden that fucking shit stopped. That's why they was saying all that shit. She just sitting around on her ass. She said she wasn't going to look for no job. I already know what the job search consists of here. It's bullshit. Why in the fuck should I be looking for a job? Hertz should be contacting me with a car. They should have my name off they should have took my name off the do not rent list and kept it off. And one other valid point about that. My car was due to auto extend. Now they switched the date for the extend on Monday. How the fuck that happened? Ain't nobody paying attention in this shit. But they just pay the $140. See, they tell you don't pay scammers. But you all were on here telling me to pay these people, and I know it was a scam. They were telling me to pay these people, and it's a scam. All this money they've been taking out of my account, and they sit here and was telling me to pay these people, and it's a fucking scam. Ain't nowhere in hell you gonna pop up a bill out of fucking nowhere and try to justify that shit 4 months after the fact, after you done sent it to collections, and nobody knew of this bill? The constant communications, I just had the car get an oil change. I had to contact the location for them to look up the account and create the invoice to give me an oil change. That was in February. The invoice was created January 5th. In February, when they looked up my account to do the oil change. Ain't nobody said, well, Miss Morgan, you got a $140.42 bill. That's why I know it was fake. The car is due to auto extend. It was supposed to have been on Tuesday. But after talking to that rep, when they first put me on the do not rent list, who said there was another car on the account? The next week, that's when the auto extend started trying to pull on Monday. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you how I know it's fake. Had I had the money in the account on Monday, when they tried to auto extend, it would have auto extended. But they around here talking about I'm on a do not rent list. It would auto extend it. If I was on a do not rent list, that auto extend message would have told me we can't extend your vehicle because you've been placed on a do not rent list. Not tell me have $285 in your account and give us a call. It was a scam. And I don't listen to people to tell me to pay scams. Now they're going to force me in a position where I got to pay them $140.42 to get my name off a list, knowing it's a fucking scam just to try to get a car. When I shouldn't have been on the list in the first place. But ain't nobody hearing none of that. Nobody ain't said nothing about that. Wait a minute. Didn't she just say they sent her the collections before they told her about the bill? Oh, they wrong for that. Wait a minute. Didn't she say the invoice date? Wait a minute. We can see that because I posted it online. Wait a minute. The invoice date says January 5th. You mean tell me from January 5th, she been auto extending her rental and they ain't get the amount with the auto extend? Yeah, but don't nobody see nothing wrong with that. But this is my fault that I'm sitting here going through this. And this job search and these people I'm trying to contact for help, all they're doing is because they know what I'm going to do. If I can't find a job, I'm going to try to find a way to get another car. And these people is getting these people to collect my information so they can get it free without having to get a legal warrant or whatever else they need to gather this information to look into this shit. You've been using jobs, posting jobs that they know that I would put in for, to get me to send in my resume so these people can get my information. And the job is fake. Looking for a car. You got me filling out my information, my name and my address, social security number. Now you wanted all 3 bank statements. All 3 bank statements. They wanted a bank statement going back to when they created that invoice in January. So they can get the invoice, them bank statements, and start making changes to shit that start popping up in my bank. That's all they been doing. Then you done ruined my credit. My credit score was going up. It wasn't great, but it was going up. My credit score has dropped drastically. I think a total of, 30 points now. Because of this shit. The late rent. My bank overdrawn. They sent me the collections. You told me to pay $140 on some shit they had already sent to collections. And I kept telling you, them people would never tell me where to pay. I kept asking, where do I pay this bill? Who knows about this bill? If your department don't take payments, it should be the Vehicle Solutions Department. I contacted Vehicle Solutions. They told me I'm not on the do not rent list and they could take a payment. Told me I wasn't going to have no problem next week. You know what she did? She lied. Because I listened to her and kept the car until Wednesday. What they did was got me to keep the car an additional day to bill me $65 additional. Because I listened to her tell me that I wasn't on the do not rent list. I told you, I'm still struggling to get my rent up. I had just paid my rent that fucking Tuesday. That's when the car was due to auto extend that Tuesday. I said, well, I got to get the rent out the way. I paid my rent. The next day I called them to pay the car. Because she's saying I ain't on the do not rent list. So I'm thinking I'm having no problem with auto extend. Oh, I'm back on auto extend. So now, after I turn in the car, I see all this money come out my bank, $355. How do you get to take additional monies out of my goddamn account? That's not on the week that you should have been taking that money out for. That's what they've been doing. They're able to go in your account and I told you they posting was funny. They would get the payment. It would subtract out the account. And then a couple days later, the shit would post back into the account. And I've been watching that. And I've been seeing how long it takes before they come requesting that money back out. Sometimes they'll do it within a couple of days, and sometimes it takes weeks. Because I've had to use that money to get my rent in and then turn around and put it back in there. I've been watching it. They were supposed to take $285 out of my account. They took $355. I ain't never seen nothing like it. And this weird posting shit started right after Thanksgiving. After that locksmith guy got in contact with the company, gave him their information about his banking to get paid and all that shit. That's when this shit started. Right after they got that information from him. All this weird billing shit started. Because before that, I'm telling you, I would pay on Monday. That's when my original contract was. I would pay on Monday. I see it came out my account on Monday. And then I would check my bank and see it posted that Tuesday. It ain't doing that now. They would get the payment out. All of a sudden, it'll pop back up in your account and be there. Sometimes for weeks, almost 2 weeks. Then all of a sudden, their request for the money back out. And you don't see nothing wrong here. I still think they stole $285 payment from me. I just recently requested them. I want every invoice from the date I rented that car. You know what they did? They sent me an email saying, well, we don't have access to your toll pass. You need to contact this department. I didn't request toll information. I don't deal with tolls. I want every invoice from the date I rented that car till when I turned it in. They sent me an email talking about fucking toll bills and toll passes. This is the kind of fucking shit I'm dealing with. And then the investigation. See, I wish there was a department that don't give them no time to respond. Why are you giving these people time to respond? See, that's why they getting away with this shit. That's why all this hacking shit continuing. That's why all this theft of money is continuing. That's why people losing their jobs because don't nobody act quickly. What logical reason do you need to give a business 30 days or less than 30 days or 2 weeks or however many your time frame is to respond to your law enforcement investigation? Where is it documented? Why do you need to give them 30 days? You know what I could do in 30 days if I was a crook and you was investigating me? I'd get rid of everything that would look like I was a crook. I'd talk to everybody I know associated with knowing I was a crook. And I'd threaten the rest of them that's not say nothing who knew I'm a crook. That's what I'll be doing in those 30 days. Why can't you go in there and request the information now? Tell them they got to the end of the business day to turn that information in. If not, you're going to fine the business. Impose a fine on them. Why are you giving them 30 days? If I was doing an investigation, that's why I wish I was law enforcement. Somebody in law enforcement, somebody with some authority. Had my own business. Because if I did an investigation, I'd let them know up front. I don't give you 30 days to respond. You got to the end of the business day to have that information in my hand. If you don't, there's going to be a fine imposed on your business each day until you do give me that information. And if you never give me that information, then you're going to be subject to legal action. And if we go to court about it, when we're in a court of law, I'm going to bring up the fact that it took them this many days to get me this information, which gave them ample opportunity to make changes to information alter information, and destroy information. That's what they do. They gave him 30 days to respond. No, you gave him 30 days to erase and get rid of shit. That's how they came up with this fake invoice. Because of the Better Business Bureau was investigating. All of a sudden they created an invoice. Watching my social media, listening to what I said, listening in fine detail, and coming up with invoices to cover up what they did off of shit I'm saying and time they've been given by these investigative agencies. That's why I'm still sitting here. That is exactly why I'm still sitting here. And that attorney I contacted that gave me the documents to send over there to get my employment file under the Bullet Wiki Act, you have to respond. You can get fined if you do not respond to the Bullet Wiki Act. They didn't respond. 3 months went by. I'm trying to call this guy. He's busy. I can't get him. Don't hear no response. Finally, I get him on the phone for him to tell me, well, my case is not really the type of case he handles. Oh, really? You could have told me that when we first initiated the phone call. Then he turns around and said, well, I couldn't get the information from your file because they didn't respond to the documents you had me send them. They told me let my attorney handle it, but I hadn't retained him as an attorney because he couldn't be retained yet because he needed to know why they put me off. Uber put me off my job for 6 days. But Uber has it set up where they don't tell you any information without having legal contact them. You can send a Bulletproof Wiki Act over there. You can send all kind of legal letters. They ain't gonna respond to shit. That is a violation of the law. Violating the Bulletproof Wiki Act, not releasing my employment file like it was stated for them to do, is a violation of the law. They can be fined for that. Warren Truck Plant did that. I requested my information under the Bulletproof Wiki Act. They refused to respond. And at that time, I did have an attorney. She said, well, I can get them on that. Because I sent her a copy of the letter, the time frame that I gave. Only thing in that letter wasn't a time frame. But they haven't responded, period. Why are you withholding information? See, this is what happened when you do an investigation and give them time to respond. You don't need to be giving them time to do shit. That's why these hackers, everything is crooked. I got to cross-reference shit I'm looking up to apply to with the Better Business Bureau. These online websites, all these complaints against these online websites with theft of money's coming out of their account. Talking about hacking, all this shit. Then I found out the Federal Trade Commission had sued Ring Camera. Now, I had Ring Camera when I was at Alden Towers. I'm like, okay, they cutting out checks. Okay, I done moved. Let me call these people and give them my correct address. They look it up. We don't see your file here for you to receive a check. Wait a minute, I'm one of the main ones that been complaining about the activity of that Ring Camera. So finally I get hold of somebody and looked it up. He said, you got that Ring Camera in 2020. Yes? He said, well, the lawsuit is for people who had the Ring Camera in 2018 or earlier. Say what? I'm the one has been complaining about all these surveillance systems. And let me tell you what the Ring Camera lawsuit was about. And I told you this is exactly what they were doing. The lawsuit stated that the workers themselves were hacking into these people. They were going into people's cameras, looking into their cameras, taking video clips and all this other shit. It was the actual workers at the goddamn facility. That's what's going on with my shit here. And it was still going on in 2020. The lawsuit just completed in 2024. How you didn't include all Ring cameras purchased up until the date of that lawsuit? That's another slap in the face. I filed a report with the state attorney general about my Ring camera. Somebody was laying it down on a shelf, moving it around. It kept freezing up. The shit that camera was doing. And they had a lawsuit. The Federal Trade Commission. Look it up. Google up the Ring camera lawsuit. and read what they said those people were doing. That's why my video footage is being deleted. That's exactly what's going on with my Google camera. And those people didn't stop. That lawsuit ain't stopped them. While that lawsuit was going on, they still was doing that shit. They talking about that Ring camera changed their policy to stop all this after 2018. No, the fuck they didn't. That shit was still going on. I should have a check from Ring camera. I got left out of the lawsuit because of the date that the lawsuit was for. Ring camera 2018 and before. It was going on when I had it in 2020. It's going on with now with this camera I got. It was going on with the Blink camera. It's going on with every motherfucking camera I've ever had. That shit ain't stopped. And it was who I thought it was. They hacking into the camera. It was the actual workers at fucking Ring camera. You ain't gonna never stop this shit because you give them too much time to respond. You can't give them no time. Why are you waiting to get the information you need to investigate this case? Why are you waiting? These people are right there. They are at work. You call them and say, I need this and I need it now. I wouldn't even give them to really till the end of the business day. You got 2 hours to get that information to me. If not, we're going to be imposing fines on your business until you get that information to me. That's the way I handle it. Because right now, that's why I'm still sitting here with no car. That's why I'm still sitting here on the do not rent list. Because they got 30 days to respond. In 30 days, I'm going to be evicted. That's why the fuck I'm still sitting here. And on top of, these jobs is fake. They ain't doing nothing but using this situation they done placed me in to get access to my bank account records. Because they trying to check through other people what I just said, or change some shit, or delete some shit. Because I may have had some evidence in my bank statements. Now they done got access to the shit, looking to try to get a car. They talking about pay $140, and it's a scam.